evening. Excuse me. That choked me up a little bit, I have to admit. I was told that video was going to be shown, but I hadn't actually watched it for quite a while. The video was created by my wife, whom you met earlier tonight, Chris. I gave her a little technical support. That's sort of my job in the family, tech support. Nicole asked me to spend just a couple of minutes to put some context around what we're doing at the RARE Project and the Global Genes Project. And I am going to repeat a little bit, I think, what you've heard, but it's worth repeating. And I'd like to start off by sharing with you that my identical twins are being treated right now with a compound that we believe has hope for FDA approval. And over the last year, I've been laying the groundwork to start a small biotech. And all of that has been inspired by people you've already heard from tonight who have graciously answered my phone calls when I've asked for their help. In particular, John Crowley, Emil Kakis, just a myriad of folks who you've heard from or heard about, and these are the pioneers of this fledgling rare disease industry. And as a newcomer and a hopeful dad, I can't tell you how important the contributions they've made so far are. Excuse me. I have a couple of crazy pictures I decided to put together. I'm a Silicon Valley guy, and if we don't do PowerPoint, we're not doing a presentation. So this is my view of some of the pioneers that have been up on this stage earlier. They are the Lewis and Clarks, analogously, of our industry. And that's truly where we are as an industry. These pioneers created maps that are helping folks like myself find our way. You get to 50 and you have to do these. So, not only did these pioneers create these maps and to share their experiences through movies like The Extraordinary Measures, but more importantly, they're giving me inspiration and hope to move forward in our efforts to build a biotech. But sometimes I feel like the people on this slide, I still feel like we're lacking the infrastructure, that I'm out there kind of on the prairie on my own. But it's nights like tonight that lead me to the next slide, where I think we're all beginning to realize that by banding together, we're more likely to avoid the pitfalls of crossing the prairie. But reality is, it's the important infrastructure, like in this analogy, the Intercontinental Railroad, which provided the infrastructure to actually turn the migration west into a full-fledged undertaking. And it was the wisdom of our forefathers, but largely driven by the citizenship, that made this incredible infrastructure achievement possible. So it was a coming together of both capital motive and human motive that built these infrastructures. So let's go to the next slide and beyond. I think this is a momentous time in America, this picture, and I think it's a wonderful picture. And in my way of thinking, we are not yet here as a community. We are still, in fact, figuring out what infrastructure it is that we do need. And I think it's there for us, but I think the main reason and the primary goal of the Global Genes Project is to harness the energy and passion of the tens of thousands of individuals, some of whom have spoken tonight, to actually create this moment for the rare disease community. We need our quilts on the National Mall moment. Despite the incredible efforts of the folks who've been working, in some cases for a decade or more, I think of Emil and others, on legislation, there's still enormous work to be done. The rare disease community, especially just recently, has certainly enjoyed the successes of the legislation, but let's be honest, the reality is that the infrastructure and legislation and funding that we require in the rare disease community is still sorely lacking. At the Global Genes Project, we believe that a grassroots approach to building and serving our community is a first major step. We have a simple goal. We intend to create a vibrant community of 1 million people that represent the broad diversity and interests of the rare disease ecosystem. Fortunately, the technologies of the internet, which is where my background is, and social media enable us to build our community with incredible speed and efficiency, and we're already beginning to see that. We've seen amazing progress in many areas of the Global Genes Project. Some examples of that, which I'm sorry he wasn't here tonight, but I want to applaud Jamie Haywood and the work at Patients Like Me. I think this is an incredible thing. Over the last 2 years, the Global Genes Project has put a concerted effort into building grassroots through the campaigns that some of you have seen. It was interesting to me to hear how many folks had only heard about Global Genes in the last week or perhaps month when they were asked to participate. And so what I'd like to do is just share with you a little bit of the branding that we've done over the last year. Last year during the World Rare Disease Day, our symbolic denim blue ribbon and our Genes for Genes program both enjoyed an immense amount of popularity, with kindergartners and first graders making bags of blue denim ribbons and distributing them all over the world in honor of Rare Disease Day. And of course, our goal is to create an icon like the Komen pink ribbon. Our programs are designed to build a community and the service those who need help. So Nicole and her team have facilitated over the last year more than 50 local rare meetups by identifying local leaders in cities throughout the country and matching them together with sponsorship to hold meetings for those who need better organization. The Global Genes Awareness Project, which is really embodied in our new website, has many, many components to it. One of them in particular was an exciting meeting that happened today before this event, was the Corporate Alliance. We have engaged industry in an effort to help guide our work, and the results of that, I met with Nicole just briefly this afternoon after this Corporate Alliance meeting, and she was just giddy with the hope of the amazing direction and insight she was given by industry as a result of this meeting. And last but not least, our Facebook presence, especially in just the last 9 months, has grown from a few hundred friends to more than 27,000 friends as of yesterday. All of this work has been accomplished by an incredibly passionate team of volunteers who, for the most part, receive no compensation, work tireless hours, and are as passionate as any of we parents with rare disease-afflicted children. On the table and on each of your tables, we've provided a small card, and I'm going to ask that if you're moved by today's events, by tonight's gala, and by the inspiration of those patients and folks who have spoken, I'm going to suggest that you grab the card and fill it out and make a small contribution to help our cause. Our budgets are extraordinarily small compared to the many of the foundations that many of us run individually for our own diseases, and Nicole and her team need your support. So that's the sum total of our fundraising for tonight. So really, if you would be so kind as to take a moment and grab one of the cards. One of our runners will come around a little bit later, and if you would just make a small contribution tonight that reflects perhaps the entertainment you've received or the inspiration you've seen, we'd be so, so grateful. Thank you, and I'm so proud to be part of this